Welcome to Insurance Claim Radio, where leading hail loss consumer advocate Phil Coutu and his team of experts teach you how to avoid the pitfalls of hail damage claims and how to use his team of experts to get what you truly deserve under your insurance policy. Now, here's your host of Insurance Claim Radio, Phil Coutu.
Hi, you're live with Insurance Claims Radio, insuranceclaimsradio.com. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. I'm a roofer since I was 13. I'm a public adjuster and a roof inspector. You can reach us at rooftoproofing.com. The show's designed to help you, the consumer, navigate your insurance claim, whether it's hail, hurricane, wind, fire. A lot of times because we're based out of Colorado, even though we're all nationwide and handle a multitude of claims, we're just happen to be speaking about hail today because we're in Colorado. And we're going to open up the show. Interesting thing happened the other day. Last night I got a call from a consumer who heard our radio show. And I listened to about a half-hour story how the roofer somehow acquired the checks, and we're still investigating, acquired the checks, signed the back of the checks on behalf of the mortgage company and the homeowner without them knowing, collected all the money. They did do the roof, but they didn't do the full scope. They didn't take off the 2 extra layers of shingles. They didn't, the nails they used penetrated her ceiling in some areas, going through, it was a pine or a cedar ceiling, and caused a bunch of damage. And now the lady's 88 years old, and she cannot get the roofer to come back, take a look at stuff. So we've created a company. We're not sure of the name yet. It's going to be a consumer advocacy for insurance claims, where we're actually going to do a little documentary. We're going to go investigate this claim. If it turns out to be what it is, we're going to fund the claim and help her out on the claim. Because they're kind of SOL on a bunch of stuff right now. So we still have research to do. Stevie's going to be doing that with me, and we just got an attorney, Keith Frankel Law, to commit to putting up some of the hours for free. And we're going to take on a few of these cases every year because we think it would just be interesting. Now, we're going to be looking for cases where somebody was wronged, whether it's by a contractor or by an insurance company. And the reason we're going to do that is to show people like how you can stand up when you're wronged and stand up for yourself. And a lot of times you don't know where to turn. There's smaller residential claims, and you're going to call attorneys, and the costs are going to outweigh the benefits to you. So we're going to take on some of these to show the consumer how you can stand up and try to get reimbursed in some of the avenues. So Stevie, he's a former TAMCO representative. He's going to be on the camera and helping me interview the people. And then we've got Keith Frankel to sign on for the legal. That's Frankel Law. And then we'll probably have possibly on the show, Mike, we'll see how it works out. We'll have a contractor will actually go and fix the work. So we're looking for it. Beautiful. And so live right now, we've got Stevie Solomon in the studio. And former TAMCO rep, and we got Mike Neely. He's with Pro Roof Solutions. He's a friendly competitor of mine. I've known him for a while. And I'm your host, Phil Coutu, rooftoproofing.com. You need to get a hold of any of us or have questions. You can contact the panel at 303-997-4247. And Stevie, what do you got to say about that idea of helping out some consumers and doing a documentary when they've been wronged?
I mean, I think the idea birthed from the fact that we come across so many people who've been hurt by dishonest roofing companies, right? I mean, we take pride in what we do. We go out there, we make sure that we're doing a great job for the customer. And the idea that, we are able to educate other people, right? That's what it is. We want to show other people. I mean, the whole process of the show. We want to educate our consumer. And so now when we get to personalize the story, right, with not just a number, but with the face, with the story, with the specific circumstance that they went through. And I think it's going to be beautiful for people to tune in and to watch these videos and to maybe help relate with their own stories, their own circumstances where they've been wronged by other roofing companies. And we want to stand out, man. I think by doing this, we're going to be able to open the eyes of people sometimes who are kind of blind to this side of the industry, where people are just taking advantage of well-wishers.
Even Stevie, not only roofing companies, but insurance companies. Nothing to, sometimes they're good at taking advantage of consumers and even roofers too.
Well, guys, we had a different agenda, but since we're going off on this, maybe we should talk to the public and give them some tips now, what to watch out when you're hiring a contractor. Because, both myself and Mike are contractors. I specialize in large commercial projects. Mike does commercial as well as residential. And we're going to take a quick break, so we're going to be back. We're going to give you consumer tips, what not to do when you're hiring a roofer. You can reach us at rooftoproofing.com, 303-997-4257.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop.restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're back live with Insurance Claims Radio. We're going to pick up where we were. Tips and do's and don'ts when hiring a roofer. Mike, you want to start off what you suggest you shouldn't do when someone's going to hire a contractor to do their roof, their stucco, or an insurance claim, or even just a cash claim?
Yeah, for sure, Phil. Well, basically, we want to make sure that we have a proper claim put in, right? So that's a kind of an automatic thing, but we want to make sure we file it for wind and hail and that we do proper, investigation there. We do documentation to make sure it is a viable claim. But once we do that and the insurance company comes out, then we will have an agreed scope sometimes with the insurance adjuster, and that insurance scope will have all this information on it that the insurance paid for, such as a roof, or they paid for the gutters, they paid for the paint, the garage, or whatever it might be. And so they use a process called Xactimate. Xactimate is the program, the application that they use to do that. You might just wing on that a little bit about how important that app is.
A lot of times the consumer is trying to get their roof done for what the insurance company estimated. Now, so everybody knows out there, I was a large loss adjuster and an insurance adjuster for many reputable companies. I still carry a regular insurance adjusting license, and I still actually advise a particular insurance company regarding some conflicts they have. A lot more, I'm on the other side now handling problematic claims. So I'm going to see the worst of the worst. But remember, lots of insurance companies are good. But what I want to say is often your adjuster is going fast, or they're just looking for a certain type of damage. So they might come out, see a roof, write an estimate, and you have write an estimate. Maybe you've got a roof, gutters, some minor painting. They write an estimate of maybe, say, $13,000. Now, most people are going to go out, and the insurance company will tell you, go get 3 competitive quotes. Let's tell the consumer one thing out there. Remember, your insurance company is paying. You paid a premium, and they're under contract to make you whole and indemnify you under that insurance policy for whatever you have coverage for. So I don't think it's always the best for the consumer to be doing it like a cash deal and trying to get, a roofer to do it for $12,500. Because often what you'll find is sometimes there's hundreds of percents, tens of thousands of dollars on that $13,000 claim missing. And I'll give you an example. At rooftoproofing.com, and also myself as a public adjuster, often will take claims for we'll find 1,000% more damage. I've had claims that have been zero and settled them for $1.5 million, where they said there was no damage or there wasn't coverage. But on a smaller residence claim like $13,000, often what they miss is hidden layers, paint damage high up on the fascia. I'm telling the public this because I was an adjuster and I ran adjusters. I used to have 18 adjusters in total under me. So I'd look at their claims and my guys would miss all kinds of stuff. They'd miss layers. They'd sometimes get the flat roofing products wrong. They'd miss almost always the codes or the ordinance and law, the newer ordinance and law. So example is I'm constantly battling with insurance companies right now on commercial jobs that we got to bring the insulation up, depending where it is in Colorado, from R20 or 20.5 all the way to R30. And a lot of times there is no above deck insulation or limited below deck. So we got to meet these new energy codes. And they'll argue with me crazy, the insurance adjuster, and they missed all the damage. And it's been hundreds of thousands. And then if you bring a flat roof up to code with that insulation, which you probably have coverage for, you should check your ordinance and law, which is also known as code upgrade. You got to raise all your AC units because now the curbs aren't going to be high enough to meet the minimum standard of 6 or 8 inches, depending where you are, for your curb height. So it triggers all kinds of costs. Now, if you got to raise your curb, you got to lift your AC unit up. Now you got to raise your ductwork up another 2 to 4 inches, and it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's been some of my claims it's exceeded $1 million.
And it's got bad access.
Right. And so I don't always, we're just speaking right now about simple residential claims or commercial. I would be looking for the contractor that does the thorough scope because they owe you for the damage. So if you've got a really great guy sitting in front of you, and he took the time and gave you this thorough scope or talked to you saying, hey, I'm looking at your insurance estimate. I see they missed the furnace vent caps. They're only paying the roofer to put a furnace vent cap on. It should be a licensed heating ventilation technician because a roofer changing a furnace cap in the worst situation can cause death from carbon monoxide. It happens in this country every year.
But never should be put on by a roofing contractor.
Never.
Only a licensed HVAC.
And a lot of municipalities are catching on slowly because something horrendous happens. So then they pass a law, a roofer can't change those furnace caps. And, you can go buy them for $20 at Home Depot. So roofers, they're paying $60 about in Colorado, $80, $90 in Florida. Roofers are changing them. Then the insurance company, okay, hey, they're paying that price. You can go out and get a professional technician. Yes, he's probably going to charge you $250, $300 for the first cap. But it's life, and the insurance company is going to pay for that because they have an obligation to pay to have a proper person do that. And
It could be literally a life and death situation there.
It is. And, take it from someone who's a roofer when I was 23 years old. Michelle tell a story about furnace caps. I was roofing on a roof. Really nice older couple, Winnipeg, Manitoba. I think it was 1993. And I did a roof. And what happened was the next morning I came back and Lane's like, Philip, can you please come look in my basement? We got a pipe that's come apart. I'm like, sure. I go into their basement and I pop the pipe, taking the carbon monoxide and dioxide away from the hot water tank. The little pipe that sits on top, I popped it out halfway, which means that some of that carbon monoxide was going into their basement. Very, very lucky that somebody didn't get hurt or very sick. I could have technically committed negligent homicide, accidentally, obviously, because when I changed the furnace vent cap from a hailstorm, what I did was I popped out all the way through the attic, through the first floor. It just popped out. Now, those furnace caps are sometimes stuck or a little bit rusty, so sometimes you got to snap them. And the risk is that they will come apart in the attic, in the wall, or in the basement. What happened is I didn't even take the pipe apart. It just popped out an inch because of how I had to jostle with it. And so we're just telling the public here, it's really important. Do you want a roofer changing your furnace vent caps? So I never, ever changed them myself since then. It's been a battle for many, many years in Colorado. I used to get called in early 2000 by a prominent insurance company here. How come you're the only roofer that won't change these caps? You're charging us $300 for the first cap. And I was like, too bad. We're not putting someone's life at risk. Now, before that happened, I was just ignorant. I was a normal roofer. I just didn't know the risk. And if you go, I've pulled studies. There's a study from Phoenix, Arizona, where the firemen estimate it's like, I think it's 30% come apart in the attic, and you don't even know. And in the attic's not so bad because it's usually ventilated, so it's not going to generally do damage to a person, but it can if you got weak insulation. If it's a place where you get winter and that attic's not breathing, it could be spewing carbon monoxide from a pipe that came undone. So
what is a licensed HVAC? Certified contractor?
Well, they're a licensed heating and gas fitter, right? The HVAC guys carry a license to change that, and it's important because I've done extensive research on this. It's really important because you void your warranty with your whole system all the way to your hot water tank if the pipe doesn't match the serial number on the cap. So they actually give it a serial number, right? And they've got to match up. And it says right in when you buy a furnace cap or you're installing a new furnace, it says that all the products got to match up, or it could potentially cause sickness, carbon monoxide poisoning, or death. And thank the Lord, it doesn't happen too much, but it happens every year in the U.S. multiple times. One time I did research, and they're estimating more than 50 people died. The problem is it's hard to pin on the roofing contractor. Sometimes it happens years later, or it's slow to happen, or a vent gets plugged up in a snowstorm, and an exterior vent that's ventilating the attic, and so the carbon monoxide is going in that attic, and it's not breathing properly, and it'll happen. So it's very, very hard to pin on the roofer.
So Phil, that's why it's important to have an HVAC contractor do that. Even as a roofing contractor, even though they check it down and make sure everything's good with it, we also go in and check to make sure that those pipes are all good and that they're all connected so there's not any problems like that, right? And I've been in situations where I've been in customers' home where they don't have any carbon monoxide or any fire, to check, make sure there's any problems that way. And so I've personally went and Home Depot or whatever and bought carbon monoxide and or fire detectors, right, to put in that home just to be good with the consumer. Hey, one of the things I wanted to touch base with, Phil, is we talked about following the roofing material manufacturers.
So Mike, we're going to hit that. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience, and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration, 303-997-4247, 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftоprestoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're back with Insurance Claims Radio, and we're going to pick it up. Mike, you want to speak about?
Yeah, we talked earlier about following the roofing material manufacturer installation instructions and to get maximum product performance. But some of the things that we want to look for, you were asking, is make sure that your contractor is holding a valid and current contractor license available for verification. Ask them, hey, is your license good? You'll be surprised how many roofing people don't even have.
And you can also confirm that with having a live permit. See that permit? Okay, great, they got a permit.
Right. Also maybe holding the current liability insurance coverage for verification. How many of the consumers really check to see, do they have $1 million insurance, or they have a, bonding at $1 to $5 million if applicable? That might be something that you want to look for, right?
Yeah.
Obtaining all requirements, like you said, for permits, and make sure that they're passing their inspections, right? You can go in and say how many failed inspections do they have, and are they rectifying them and make sure they're good, Also, furnishing lien waivers for materials, suppliers, and contractor labors. That would be a big requirement, Phil. You think that's something that the consumer would want to do? I always have a punch list for all my people. When we close a project, we walk around, look at it, make sure everything's fine. We get them to sign off on it, and it might be just like, is this warranty transferable? And so, hey, Stevie, are warranties transferable to the homeowner or to the commercial owners?
So it's very specific. So there are certifications that the contractor must have to be able to transfer the warranty. And also there's time limits to that as well. And also on top of that, the warranties, transferable warranty varies from manufacturer to manufacturer. So sometimes you can have a 2-year, 5-year, or 10-year, depending on how you are specifically certified with the manufacturing company. So there's this, at the end of the day, it just comes down to research, trying to find who's going to be doing your roof?
Sometimes it's also manufacturer. Like I'm a Gaff Elk, Master Elite. So, we can give a warranty that 98% of roofing contractors can't give. Why? Well, we have to do the documentation, and we have to go through certifications and that type stuff. But they are transferable. A lot of times they're transferable to the homeowner or to the new buyer of a contractor,
right.
Of an apartment complex or whatever.
Yeah, that's all great information. Some of the other do's and don'ts we were talking about regarding contractors. I always tell people, don't give unless you really know a contractor well, don't give a contractor money down. If you have a larger job, those often do require money down. The smartest thing is to say, hey, can we make it payable straight to your manufacturer? Because if the manufacturer is paid, your property can't be liened by the material supplier, which does happen when companies get in trouble. I've had it before where we've had $1 million jobs and we need $300,000 in materials. And so obviously we want money down in that case. It's not a residential. And we need like $300,000 down to start. I'll say you can make it straight to my supplier.
And, also if your supplier.
Then you own the materials.
Right.
Not the roofer. And they're paid for. It's a big deal, those kind of things.
Mm-hmm. And, even like the supplier, like, one of the ones that I use that I highly recommend is Gulf Eagle Supply. They've done a great job for me. They will also require a signature from the homeowner or from the from the commercial, if it's the apartment complex owner or whatever, right? And that way they're protected, and also the homeowner or the commercial homeowner is also, or commercial application is also protected that way. So when you both sign a signature from you and the homeowner or the contractor of the, I'm sorry, I'm saying contractor, but I mean the
Supplier.
The supplier, yeah, or really even the people that own the apartment complex. All right. So once you sign those two, then the supplier is more willing to also lend you money if you needed $500,000 or whatever. That's they help that way too.
Yeah, so it's really important to keep as much control on your side as possible. I constantly get calls of people who gave a roofer a deposit primarily on residential, and they never seen the roofer. Or I have one case right now where a commercial client gave a deposit to a roofer. They did a really big job for them, about $500,000-$600,000. They were telling me, and they gave him a really big deposit down on a second job, and he got in an auto wreck and got charged the DUI and is in jail. And they can't even get to him, and they're like, hey, we gave him I think it was $100,000 down or something. And they're like, what do we do? What do we do? It's been 6 months. We don't even know where the guy is. We know he went to jail. And I'm like, there's risks, right? So you always want to check out. You want to check out your company's legitimacy. You're looking for how long they've been in business under that same corporation. You want to have a very good feeling with them. You want to check out a few references, and quantify the real references. Is very, very important.
I had a customer that wanted a work completion time limit. Right, so she says, "Hey, listen, I want this done by October the 30th or whatever. Every day that you're late, I'm going to charge you $100 if you don't have this done and completed by then." So she wanted a protection and had an addendum to our normal contract, which our contract says contractor repairs is authorized by the insurance. So we promised to do what the insurance company would put on that scope. Of course, we would have supplements, but there could also be addendums that are added to that.
Yeah, that's really important. Remember, you as the consumer can always amend your contract, make an addendum. There's nothing wrong with that. I've had contracts where I've had a big job, and I know the person seems across me to be pretty honest, and they'll be like, well, we don't like this clause. They go through our whole contract. I'm like, okay. Sometimes I won't bend on some clauses, but a lot of times, like, okay, scratch that out. Okay, scratch out. You know what? Scratch all that out. Just give me a direction to pay from the insurance company, deal with them direct then, to take you out of it a bit. Because sometimes, you can be scratching out a whole bunch of contract. You do have to have a few things in place, but, ultimately, 98% of the people have really legitimate intentions. I personally won't work for some of the public. I'll just say, I'm sorry. I just, I don't have time for your job or something if I have a bad feeling. I'm really looking for a quality consumer to work with and help them. And, the people sitting at this panel, we specialize in helping with those troubled claims. If you have some type of hail damage, if you're in Colorado, or hurricane damage in other parts of the country, and you think the claim has missed damages, they only offered repairs where they should be replacing something, maybe something as simple as AC units. Oh, we're going to recomb your AC units, and you have a church with 80 AC units on, or a warehouse. Like, those are claims that we have the forensic team and the experts that we'd love to sign up. And Mike, I've done claims with you as an expert, and we've had very, very successful claims, haven't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Phil, maybe we can outline to the public on payments. When should a person make the payment? There's usually 2 or 3 payments that are involved. When should they make a payment?
Well,
who
a
to?
lot of times when contractors and residential want money down, I would say no, but we'll give you a payment when the materials are on the roof. Or we'll pay for your materials, which is even honestly a better way. How much are your materials? $3,800. Who's the supplier? Okay, I'll make the check. I'll call the supplier, send me over the invoice. I'll pay for the materials direct. Then I can't get a material lien. And because I've even had it as a contractor about 6 years ago, we advanced Furnace and Vent Company $10,000 on a $100,000 contract so they could buy the materials. They basically went out of business 4 days later. We had to eat 10 grand. I mean, we could go and fight with them, try to get some pennies on the dollar, but we had to move on. And I was like, why didn't we just, when it's up over a few grand, even us as a general contractor, we should have paid that direct. We were out $10,000. And what are we going to go fight with them for $10,000? They obviously knew they were going out of business, but they took the 10 grand. And the problem is we're out that as a contractor, and it weakens a contractor. So there's so many things. People have become really complacent in this era with technology and cell phones, and you should really think about things. Keep as much leverage and power on your side when dealing with a contractor.
And payments, maybe we can talk about in the next segment about actual cash value payments versus recoverable payments, and how much they're going to depreciate, and when you should have final inspection and final payment.
Well, it's something this panel's an expert at, and you can check us out at rooftoproofing.com. Our producer's saying, hey, we're going over here. Check us out at rooftoproofing.com. You can contact us at 303-997-4247. Did we go over there?
Thank you for listening to Insurance Claim Radio. For more information on how to maximize your hail damage insurance claim or to contact Phil and his team, call 303-997-4247. And be sure to tune in next week for more Insurance Claim Radio.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftoprestoration.com.